You know that feeling when you walk into a meeting room, plug your laptop into the screen,
Yeah.
everything just immediately works?
Oh, yeah. No awkward silences or, fumbling around with remotes.
Exactly. No weirdly stretched desktop backgrounds. So today we're looking at the actual engineering behind that seamless experience.
Yeah, we've got a technical product specification sheet from HDTVSupply for a device called the Atlona AT-HD-SC-500.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because our mission in this deep dive is to sort of decode this piece of hidden technology. We want to show you why this compact $450 box is actually the unsung hero of modern classrooms and huddle spaces.
It really requires a shift in how we think about AV equipment, right? I mean, before we can appreciate how it automates a room, we have to look at its primary job.
Which is managing pure chaos, I imagine.
Basically, yeah. Think about the reality of a meeting space. You have different operating systems, different cable types, and, well, vastly different hardware generations, all fighting to share one single screen.
Right, so like I might bring in an old laptop that only has a VGA port, while my colleague brings in a modern machine using HDMI.
Exactly.
So is this Atlona box essentially, I don't know, a universal video translator?
Well, it goes a step beyond translation. It actually rebuilds the image.
Oh, wow. How so?
So the device is a 3x1 switcher. That means it takes two HDMI inputs and one legacy VGA input and funnels them into a single HDMI output.
Okay, make sure they all end up at the same place.
Right, but the critical component here is the built-in scaler.
Right.
If you plug in that old VGA laptop pushing a low non-standard resolution, the Atlona doesn't just, pass that raw signal through to a modern 1080p display.
Because that would look terrible.
Exactly. Instead, it mathematically interpolates the missing pixels on the fly.
Oh, so it's actively repainting the image so it doesn't look like a pixelated mess on a large monitor.
Yeah, that is the auto set feature at work. What's really fascinating here is that it constantly reads the native resolution of the room's display, and then it scales whatever incoming signal you give it to match perfectly, supporting up to 1080p at 60 hertz.
Which explains why the TV doesn't sit there on a black screen for 10 seconds trying to handshake with a weird signal.
Yes, exactly. The scaler forces a constant, standardized output.
Wow.
That is the mechanism that eliminates that agonizing screen adjustment delay at the start of a presentation.
Okay, so that makes total sense for the video processing. But let me push back on something in these hardware specs.
Sure. What did you find?
Well, I'm looking at the physical design here. It has physical front panel buttons for input selection and volume control.
Yeah, it does.
But it also explicitly includes surface mounting brackets to, like, bolt it under a conference table or behind a wall monitor.
Right.
That makes no sense to me. I mean, why pay for a box with buttons you're just going to intentionally hide?
That is a great question. Those physical buttons are really just there for manual overrides or, the initial installer setup.
Okay. Not for daily use.
Exactly. The true value of this hardware lies in its automation protocols, specifically TCP/IP and RS-232.
Okay, TCP/IP and RS-232. So how do those actually fit into the daily use of the room for the everyday user?
Well, TCP/IP means the switcher connects directly into the building's standard internet network. That's for remote management by the IT department.
Got it. So they can monitor from afar without coming in.
Right. And RS-232, that is that old school serial cable connection. And it's used to send direct hardware commands to the television itself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so when you sit down and plug in your laptop, the Atlona detects the voltage, auto-selects your input, and fires a command over RS-232 to physically wake up the TV.
Wait, really? So it does all of that automatically?
Yep. The goal isn't for you to push buttons. I mean, the real goal is for the device to be completely invisible.
It's just silently orchestrating the entire hardware setup before you even sit down.
Exactly. It removes all user friction. And, it handles the audio just as seamlessly through a process called audio de-embedding.
Audio de-embedding, meaning it pulls the audio out of the video feed.
Yes, because HDMI carries both video and audio interwoven in a single digital stream, right?
Right, of course.
So de-embedding means the switcher physically extracts those digital audio data packets from the HDMI stream.
Okay.
Then it converts them and routes them out to a dedicated analog jack.
Oh, I see. So that way the sound goes straight to the room's overhead speakers instead of the tiny low-quality speakers built into the TV.
You got it. It is all about optimizing the entire room experience without the user lifting a finger.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Next time you are in a meeting space and your presentation flawlessly pops up the second you plug in your cable, take a second to appreciate the engineering.
Yeah, there is very likely a little switcher like the HD-SC-500 bolted under the desk, doing all that heavy lifting for you.
It really highlights what actually matters in professional AV environments, don't you
Oh,
think?
totally. We're constantly marketed the idea of the latest and greatest, right? Like
Yeah.
8K resolution, cutting edge refresh rates, all that stuff.
Which leads to a fascinating thought to leave you with today. With this device deliberately engineering support for a dusty old VGA connection right alongside modern HDMI, maybe it proves a bigger point.
I definitely think so.
Perhaps the true priority in professional communication isn't chasing the absolute highest tech specs. Maybe the real magic is just ensuring bulletproof compatibility between our oldest and newest tools.
Right, so that when it's time to collaborate, everyone's work can actually be seen.
Exactly. A little something to mull over next time you're staring at a conference room TV.